delivery. It's only possible at Furniture Max.
Good morning, America. Right now, the blackface backlash calls for the governor of Virginia, Ralph Northam, to resign after this picture from his 1984 yearbook emerges. The governor apologizing.
I'm deeply sorry.
Will it be enough to save his job?
Breaking overnight, opening fire. Bullets flying in this parking lot. Police responding to a call of a person pointing a gun at supermarket customers. The latest on this developing story.
Breaking his silence, Jussie Smollett opening up for the first time since reporting to police he was beaten in a racist attack. What the Empire star wants his fans to know, and the latest on the investigation.
Caught on camera, look at this, a mansion heist. Thieves using their SUV to crash the gate, making off with a massive safe filled with cash and jewelry. The homeowner's celebrity connection.
And Super Bowl countdown, a day before the big game. Security tight around Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. How they'll keep the fans safe as we bring you inside all the exclusive parties.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Hey, good morning, and we begin here with the embattled governor of Virginia, Democrat Ralph Northam. He is facing a chorus of calls for his resignation this morning after this picture surfaced.
It's from a medical school yearbook more than 30 years ago when Northam was 25 years old. The photo shows two people, one in blackface, the other, as you can see, wearing a Ku Klux Klan uniform.
Now, Northam has apologized, but has not said which one was him in that picture. Overnight, Northam vowed to serve out the remainder of his term, but with many of his allies abandoning him, is political survival even a possibility? We begin our coverage with ABC's Zachary Quiche in Richmond, Virginia. Zachary, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. We are in Richmond, Virginia, in front of the governor's mansion just behind me here. It is the capital of the Confederacy. Now, some say that's history, but it's the governor's past decisions that are impacting his ability to lead now, and some say he's got to go. Democratic Governor Ralph Northam appealed to a broad cross-section of Virginians and was viewed by some as a rising star.
This is somebody that you will be proud to have as your governor.
All of that changed Friday when this photo, appearing to show two people, one in blackface and the other in KKK garb, was revealed by right-wing publication Big League Politics.
That photo and the racist and offensive attitudes it represents does not reflect that person I am today. I am deeply sorry.
Northam is not saying which person in the photo is him, but this morning, folks on both sides of the aisle are calling on him to resign. Virginia GOP Chairman Jack Wilson appearing on CNN to address the issue.
If he is in the statement or in the photograph, either in blackface or KKK garb, he needs to resign.
The photo appeared back in 1984 in what's being described as a student-produced publication while Northam was studying to become a doctor at Eastern Virginia Medical School. Overnight, another yearbook photo of Northam's emerged, this time from Virginia Military Institute in 1981. In it, a racial slur is listed as the governor's nickname.
This is something that, yes, took place some years ago, but how is it that, given the current climate, we can recover from something such as this?
Virginia's two Democratic senators stood by the governor, but by Friday night, 6 of the 8 Democratic presidential candidates said he should step down. Just last month, Florida's former Secretary of State, Republican Michael Erdl, resigned the same day a photo of him in blackface at a party nearly 15 years ago was published by the Tallahassee Democrat.
We recognize in this moment that a lack of accountability continues to build a culture that allows racism to be permissible.
You know, there's a lot of attention on this story. In a weird twist of irony, if the governor does resign, Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax would succeed him. Now, Fairfax is a 39-year-old Ivy-educated black man and the descendant of slaves. Dan?
Zachary Quiche on the ground in Virginia. Zachary, thank you. Let's bring in our chief political analyst, Matthew Dowd, who's joining us from Texas this morning. Matthew, good morning. So we have, as we saw there, some Democrats in the United States Senate defending Northam. Meanwhile, some Republicans are saying, how can you hold Judge Brett Kavanaugh responsible for his high school yearbook and then come to Northam's defense, given that Northam was much older in this yearbook? So what's your take?
Well, first, I don't think anybody should be in the process of defending this. Obviously, these pictures and what it stood for is indefensible, so nobody should defend this in the course of this. I would just argue, one, that the yearbook in Brett Kavanaugh's case wasn't what the Supreme Court discussion was about. It was about whether or not he has sexually assaulted a woman, Christy Blasey Ford, and it wasn't about what was in his yearbook. And second, when people climb the moral high ground, they better make dang sure that their boots are clean in all of this. And I would just say we should put parties aside and examine all of these issues in a case that's not Republican or Democrat and what people have done in their past and present.
So we're seeing, as Zachary reported, many of the Democratic presidential candidates now weighing in on this story. Given the diversity of the burgeoning Democratic field, and given that this campaign is going to take place in the era of Trump, do you believe we're going to be talking about race a lot through the 2020 election, and can we do this constructively?
I would not only add the diversity of the field of the Democrats, the diversity of the Congress that got elected in 2018, and the diversity of America. This will be an election which will be decided with the most diverse electorate that we've ever seen in American history in this. I think we are going to have a conversation about race. We are going to have a conversation about sex. And we are going to have a conversation about those things in American history that divided us. And I think it would be a very good thing if we had a nuanced conversation, a complex conversation about our past, about our present, and what do we want our future to be with all of these issues. But I think race is going to be front and center in the course of the next 19 months.
Well, given the nature of our current discourse, let's hope we can do this constructively. Matthew Dow, we always appreciate your analysis on a Saturday morning.
Thanks, no problem at all. And Rams are going to win the Super Bowl.
On that, sir, we disagree for the first time in the morning.
I'm with you, Dad.
It's a foregone conclusion.
Thank you.
Patriot.
Oh, good. Let's move right along peacefully. A wild scene playing out at a supermarket parking lot overnight.
Yeah, police responding to a report of a person with a gun, then eventually opening fire. ABC's Marcus Moore joins us from our Los Angeles bureau with the very latest. Marcus, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. This was a dramatic scene here in California overnight. Salinas police confirming their officers were involved in a shooting in a Safeway parking lot, and cameras were rolling when it happened. Take a look at this video. Wow, it is absolutely stunning video. After multiple gunshots ring out, you can see several police officers taking positions behind their cars there. Police say this all unfolded after someone called 911 reporting a person pointing a gun at customers there at that grocery store. 5 officers responded to the scene, and then that gunfire broke out. Now, police say the suspect was taken to a local hospital where he is being treated for multiple gunshot wounds, and police are saying this morning that he is in stable condition. We also know, according to police, that they were wearing body cameras, so that video will be used in the investigation and will perhaps show why those shots were fired. Police are also saying they do have witnesses who are cooperating with investigators. Guys?
Marcus, thank you. As you say, a wild scene. We appreciate it. Let's move overseas now, where President Vladimir Putin announced this morning that Russia is going to suspend a Cold War-era nuclear arms treaty with the United States. This comes just a day after President Trump declared the U.S. was pulling out of that same deal. Putin adding that Russia will start making new intermediate-range nuclear missiles, but will only deploy them if America does so first. Trump justified his withdrawal by accusing Russia of violating that treaty.
Now to President Trump warning there's a good chance he'll declare a national emergency to fund his border wall.
And he's taking aim at a familiar critic of his plan. ABC White House correspondent Tara Palmieri has more.
From the White House Friday, the president making the case for declaring a national emergency so that he can go around Congress and build a wall himself.
We will be looking at a national emergency. It's getting built one way or the other.
A February 15th deadline looming for a bipartisan group of lawmakers to agree on border security funding. If not, another shutdown.
They're having a negotiation over it in there. There's not going to be any wall money in the legislation.
And President Trump firing back in a new CBS interview, saying that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was rigid during negotiations and questioning her motivations.
She wanted to win a political point. I think she is very bad for our country. She knows that you need a barrier.
Accusing Pelosi of ignoring human trafficking.
She doesn't mind human trafficking, or she wouldn't do this.
An issue Polaris, a leading nonprofit in the fight against human trafficking, claims has no place in the border wall debate. Let's get the facts straight. Human trafficking happens in the United States to people who are already here, to citizens, and to foreign nationals. Declaring an emergency would give the president the power to redirect funds towards building a wall along the Mexican border.
Actually, having a national emergency does help the process. It would certainly help the process.
It's something Republicans and Democrats fear could be an overreach of executive power, and one that could be challenged in the courts.
I would hate to see it, primarily because if we do that, it's going to go to court and the wall won't get built.
The State of the Union is another primetime opportunity for the president to make his case for a border wall. When asked yesterday if he'll declare a national emergency during that speech, the president didn't rule it out. Eva?
Palmieri there for us in Florida. Now to a star opening up about his reported brutal attack.
Empire's Jussie Smollett sharing his story as he gets ready to make his first public appearance since he told police he was beaten in Chicago. And ABC's Ariel Reshef is on the story. Ariel, good morning to you.
Good morning to you guys. A lot of people talking about this. Well, in an emotional statement to Essence magazine, Jussie Smollett addressing how he's doing right now and his cooperation with police. The star forging forward with a sold-out concert tonight, but making some changes amid security concerns.
Actor Jussie Smollett breaking his silence, now reassuring fans, friends, and family he's okay. The first time since the Empire star reported he was assaulted in Chicago by two hooded assailants shouting homophobic and racist slurs. The openly gay star telling Essence magazine, "My body is strong, but my soul is stronger." The singer canceling his meet and greet session before his concert tonight in Hollywood, while not identifying a specific threat, citing security concerns in an email to ticket holders. Smollett telling police Tuesday, just after the alleged incident, that one of the men put a noose around his neck. In a later interview claiming they yelled MAGA country as they beat him and doused him with a bleach-like chemical. The actor appearing to slam chatter that his story may have changed, saying, "I'm working with authorities and have been 100% factual and consistent. Despite my frustration and deep concern with inaccuracies, I still believe that justice will be served." Authorities only turning up this surveillance image of two shadowy persons of interest seen walking in the general direction where Smollett says he was attacked. So far, there's no video evidence of the alleged beating.
Well, we don't have anything that we've actually been able to view.
But police say analyzing multiple cameras is like putting together a digital puzzle.
The idea that you're going to ID them off of that probably is not high. However, the proximity where they were at 2 o'clock in the morning may help you a little bit.
Chicago authorities saying they consider Smollett a victim.
He's been very cooperative with us. And, right now, there's no reason for us to think that what he's described to us isn't, in fact, what happened.
Now, police say they're making some gains in this investigation, but so far, no arrests have been made. They say they are hoping to bring this to a resolution soon.
So they're making some sort of gains.
Some sort of gains,
what that is.
Still no video of the actual incident, and they're still trying to solicit tips from anybody who may have some information.
A lot we still don't know. All right, Ariel Reshef, thank you so much. Another story we're following here. The parents of a Penn State sophomore who died after an alleged hazing incident at a frat house have filed a federal wrongful death lawsuit. The family of 19-year-old Timothy Piazza suing the 28 members of the Beta Theta Pi fraternity, as well as a security company hired to help enforce alcohol regulations on campus. The lawsuit claiming the fraternity members realized the, quote, grave consequences of their conduct and tried to conceal evidence.
I'm sitting between these two this morning. We got to keep them separated because they're on opposite sides of the Super Bowl.
Please keep us separated.
East Coast, West Coast.
He's a lot bigger than I am, so I want somebody to.
We are counting down to the Super Bowl, just one day away from the big game, and security, of course, is really tight around Atlanta right now. ABC's TJ Holmes is there with a look at the Super Bowl safety measures. Good morning to you, TJ.
Hey, good morning to you all. You might hear a band playing in the background here. They started right on cue, which is when I was about to go on television, but they shouldn't be stopping in a second, but a lot of festivities. Something always going on down here in Atlanta, getting ready for Super Bowl 53. Super Bowl 53, that's what we call it. You ask a federal official what this is that they're getting ready for, and they'll give it another name. They'll tell you they're getting ready for a SEER 1 event. What that is a national security threat level designation.
It's an event of such national and international significance that it requires the coordination of the federal government. That's what we have going on here, and that means we have dozens and dozens of local and state and federal agencies, law enforcement agencies, coordinating their security effort to protect this Super Bowl. You have thousands and thousands of officers here on the ground. You also have many people in the air that will be protecting this Super Bowl. In particular, we're talking about U.S. Customs and Border Protection. They have their helicopters here in town. I got to take a look, take a ride, and see this security operation, and their goal is to make sure that no aircraft come within a 30-mile radius of Mercedes-Benz Stadium on game day. But you get back down on the ground, we're talking about bomb-sniffing dogs. We have 10,000 plus security cameras, and also all the big bags and cargo and trucks that are coming into this area are also being x-rayed. So they are on top of things. And you have to go back, guys, to May 24th of 2016. That's when it was announced that Atlanta was getting the Super Bowl. May 24th, 2016. I assure you, on May 25th, 2016, they started planning the security for this thing. So it's been years in the making, and so far, no credible threats, we're told, to the Super Bowl. So it's just time to play tomorrow, guys.
And are they worried about drones up in the air there as well?
Well, every event now we have to worry. You have so many drones out there, but yes, you would absolutely be fined or arrested if you have any of those drones of yours in the area. They're not supposed to be here downtown. Yes, federal or law enforcement are using their own drones, but folks, you cannot be flying those things around. You will get into some trouble.
All right. Any vantage point on the Patriots' inevitable victory will be just fine. TJ, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. I'm going to get that in before I get a smack from Whit. Time now for the weather. Rob Marciano not here. He's on Staten Island in New York City covering Groundhog Day. We'll get to Groundhog Day in just a moment. First, though, Rob, let's start. You've got some breaking weather news in the American West. What's happening?
Is he correct? 58% of the time, 68% of the time.
Good morning, guys. Hey, it's February 2nd. It is Groundhog Day, where many a marmot will be efforting a forecast to predict the rest of this winter. We're here at Staten Island Zoo, where Staten Island Chuck is about to be woken up. More on that in a sec, but let's first get to what's going on in California. Big storm coming in there. They can't wait for winter to be over. After a bit of a break, now we're getting slammed with a serious storm. The entire coastline getting hammered, and 1 to 2 inch rainfall rates now heading into Southern California. So some of the burn areas from Santa Barbara down south through Malibu are going to be affected by this. Heavy rain with strong winds. High wind warnings are posted, and look at all that snow building as well. So flooding potentially today, that really the next 12 to 18 hours, and the high wind warnings remain up. Winter storm warnings up for the Sierras. We could see 2 to 5 feet above the mountain pass levels. Higher than that, up to 10 feet of snow. So avalanche is going to be an issue as well. This is a serious situation happening in California. More on that. Plus, groundhog news right after this. Your local forecast right now.
Hello and good morning, Washington. Meteorologist Alex Liggett. Not a bad start to the weekend. Hey, we have temperatures in the single digits and teens this morning, but we will approach the lower 40s by the afternoon under partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. Now temperatures tomorrow, a big change. Look at this, 50 degrees in D.C. Yeah, a couple spots in the upper 40s to the north and west. Low 50s to mid 50s to the north south, and early next week approaching the lower 60s by Tuesday.
Here at the Staten Island Zoo, where Staten Island Chuck will be coming out of his burrow momentarily. This is John Franzrev III, who you'll be waking him up this morning, won't you?
In a matter of seconds, I'll be on that stage, sounding my horn and making sure that Chuck wakes up and gives the best prediction possible.
Now, you know, we make a big deal about Punxsutawney Phil. He's been around the most in the past 30 years. His average is less than 50%. Are you confident with Staten Island Chuck's accuracy today?
This is Staten Island. Everything is right here.
What kind of song do you play for Chuck typically?
I sound a call that I use at horse shows around the country, an entrance call. He'll enter.
So John's a horse guy. This is his horn. We can't play it yet because that will wake Chuck up before it's time. How's Chuck feeling? Do you know what he had to dinner last night? Do you know if he slept well?
He slept well and ready to wake up now, and now's my turn.
All right, we're going to let you go. Good luck today.
Take care.
John's been doing this for over 20 years. Phil's been doing this since 1981, and he boasts an accuracy rating of 80%. We'll have to, cross-check that, but that's right up with our accuracy. And
I was going to say
for my job.
Yeah, how does your batting average match up to Chuck there.
You know, depending on how well he does today, we may sign him up for the ABC weather team. You know,